and welcome back to In My Hometown with Jamie Stein, where we get into the business of our neighbors.
All right, we are back. It's Jamie and Pascal, and we've got a Golden Bachelor recap. Lots to discuss. Not a huge surprise for many, especially according to our poll that we had. I think most people knew who was going to be going home, but it was definitely a fun show to watch, and we're going to talk about it. I'll tell you what else is fun. We have someone back with us, and it's Jordan Heller, our friend, Pascal's Mansion Man friend. What is the hashtag Mansion Men is what you guys were trying to do.
Yeah,
right?
I don't know that. Are we keeping that Mansion Man hashtag?
Did you not make it happen?
I don't know if we want to keep
we
that.
should be singing the song.
Yeah.
I mean.
How's everything
We might
going?
need a different hashtag.
How's everything going with you?
Good. I have a little bit of a cold. You can maybe tell in my voice.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's going to be gone in a day or so. But good. If you're a Bear fan, the Bears are won 4 in a row, which is great.
4 in a row?
Yeah.
Whoa.
World Series is starting this week. Some good baseball. So if you're into sports. Other than that, it's finally gotten a little chilly in Chicago.
That's right.
So,
I know.
we had a great fall so far. So it's due. But other than that, I'm pretty good.
Good. We're so happy that you're back. People
Thank you.
were
It's glad to be
clamoring
back.
for you. Our followers were.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
that's, what can I say?
I think you two together, you just have the
they're
energy.
only human. What can I say?
Right, they're only human. No, when we're together in town, I mean,
Yeah.
we catch a lot of buzz.
I'm
We do. We get a lot
sure.
of
I'm
buzz.
sure you do. I'd love to witness that. Maybe we'll have to.
Well,
go
a
out. I'll
walking
have to-
camera with us.
Exactly. How about you, Pascal? What's going on?
Me, had a wonderful week. As you know, I don't cook, so I go out a lot for dinner. And
I think everyone knows that.
Yeah,
Although
and as
you do know
I
salt
don't
and
cook,
pepper.
But I have a very fine palate. So
Okay.
what I try to do every week is I try to try new restaurant. And actually, there is a couple new restaurants who open in Chicago. One is Adelina Prime's in the Fulton Market, which it's a magnificent place. The food is outstanding. Mel, the owner, is nothing but a gentleman. So if you visit Chicago, try that restaurant because I recommend very highly. And obviously, this week, there was a fashion week. The Chicago Fashion Week is back. And it reminded me years ago, I was very involved with it because I was doing all the hair and makeup behind the scenes. So I'm very familiar with it. So it's back to Chicago. We had the designer from all over the city try to break through and become the new Calvin Klein or the Donna Karan or whatever. But it was a very interesting week in Chicago. So, Chicago is full of art and culture and fashion, and that's something we need to mention a little bit more because some people get bad ideas about Chicago. But that was my week.
Right.
That was my week.
No, Chicago is.
Yeah, Chicago is the
place.
greatest. I mean, I like to say it's the greatest city in the world, and it was just voted the 9th year in a row of the best big city in America. But yet, some of the media portrays it as like Gotham City,
Well,
you
yeah.
better have your bulletproof vest on when you're walking around the streets. It's just crazy.
It's crazy. And
It's
then,
such a mischaracterization.
I've lived here for over 40 years, and to be quite honest with you, I never encountered any threatened about my life or anything like that.
Yeah, it's terrible. I live right downtown by the lake, walk my dog all hours every day. I mean, it's just...
But you
it's
get
just,
a big dog, Jordan.
I do have a big dog.
I wouldn't
but even
fuck
still,
with
it's
you.
What kind of dog do you have?
He's just a rescue, but he's like a
Okay.
75-pound rescue. But
Okay.
he's not, he might look menacing. He's not at all.
Okay.
But it just,
Right.
the idea that there's trouble around every corner, it's just so inaccurate.
It's
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
terrible.
no, I hear you on that. Chicago it's a great place to live. And so for the hometown dates last night, we went to Austin and we went to Vegas and we went to Denver. Have you guys, I'm curious, I've been to all three. Have you guys been to all three of those places? And what do you think of those? Those are great places as well.
I mean, Denver, I love Denver. I mean, I'm a skier, so I spend a lot of time in Colorado. It's one of my favorite. I mean, if somebody said to me, would you choose the beach or would you choose the mountain? I would choose the mountain and hunt. It's just more my style for me. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I mean, the first stop was Vegas.
Yeah.
It's a different side of Vegas. They showed obviously, so they didn't show the Vegas that we all think of as Vegas. So that was interesting. I love Colorado too. I mean, the mountains for sure. And I was recently in Austin, so a great spots. I knew
Austin's
exactly
so much fun.
a couple of the areas for the bars and restaurants right downtown.
Yeah,
So,
they have an ABBA in downtown
Yeah, they do.
Austin, which they have in Chicago as well.
It's one of the hot spots there,
Yeah,
too.
which is a very cool restaurant. I don't know who are the owners.
Continental Street, right?
Yeah, okay, yeah.
L'étude s'entretenu, Abba, you're talking about...
The restaurant.
Yeah.
The restaurant Abba,
Let
yes.
us entertain you, right?
L'étude s'entretenu, yeah.
It is Let Us Entertain You.
Yeah,
I thought
it is.
so. Okay, well, they opened one there a couple of years back, and it is, like you said, it's hopping. So
Yeah.
anyway, so good stuff and good places to be. And Mel got into the van with his black shades and he headed to his 3 hometown dates. So what I'm so curious, just top line thoughts on last night. I'm not going to make you do the one word like we did last time you were here, but top line what you guys thought, what we all thought.
I mean, I thought the problem is just Mel's a little bit, like I said the first time, Mel's a little stiff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's too unemotional. You want to feel the emotion. And it was so one-sided emotionally from all 3 women yesterday. And all the kids tried to pull him out of it. He's just, and I'm sure the producers tried to pull some stuff out of him. He's just not willing or not able
He's
to get to that
dud.
emotional level. Yeah.
Like a
Yeah,
dud.
surprising.
But you know what? Remember last week we had April, the matchmaker. And I think in the end of the conversation, we're talking about Mel, a little bit about where he come from. Remember, Mel was married for 25 years. All of a sudden, he's single. Okay? When you marry that long and you are in the market, it's like throwing the lamb to the wolf. Okay? I mean, he doesn't have any experience in dating, and that show a little bit in the show. His lack of communication. I don't know the guy, and I'm sure he's a wonderful guy. Okay?
I'm sure he is.
But I think his lack of emotion, like Jordan said, his lack of communication and his awkwardness, okay? And particularly when you get a woman like Sandy, who's got so much energy. I mean, she's bubbly, she's Deb, I'm sorry, Deb.
Peggy.
Deb.
Any of them. They all three
but
have a lot of energy and they're amazing.
Peg's got
Right.
a lot of energy. I mean, she's fun, she's witty, she's successful, she's done very well for herself. And then when he went to the house and the daughter was asking question and Mel froze. He didn't answer the question the daughter was asking, and even the daughter thought that's a red flag.
Yeah, so let's talk a little about that. And I think what I'm hearing you say is maybe the 2 things. Maybe one, Mel was not ready for this. I think it's clear. I think it's clear. Maybe that while he's been divorced for, I think, a year or a couple of years, not
under
that long.
2 years.
Okay,
I think, right?
that maybe he's just not there. He keeps talking about he's only been in love one time.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Yeah. But wonderful for him, I guess. But he just doesn't seem ready. And the second thing is maybe in contrast to these women, he seems like so lackluster because they're so amazing, and so it's sort of there's just such a glaring contrast. So let's talk. So we went to Peggy first. Peggy, Debbie, and Cindy were our 3 finalists, and we went to Peggy's place first. She's in Vegas, as you mentioned, Jordan, and she's a retired firefighter and bomb squad bomb tech. She took us to the firehouse, which I thought was fun. Did you like that? It's a good place.
I thought the scene was good. Yeah.
They didn't talk to any of the guys there, so that was probably,
maybe they did, but they cut it.
Okay.
Yeah, I would
there
say,
could be a
right?
couple
Yeah, I
reasons.
mean, I remember when I did my hometown, okay, and I walked into my salon, my staff come up and greet her like there was like God walking into the sea.
Right.
And how you call over there, I felt a little bit like uncomfortable. She walked in, hey guy, this is Mel. Nobody come up and say, hey Mel, how are you? That was
at least the way they showed it. They kept them quite far away.
Yeah, they probably cut it off, so I don't know that, but that was my impression.
Yeah, but I think it was really great to be able to see sort of where she was. She said she spent 17, 18 years there, and so it was really to see her in her own sort of environment was amazing. And they had a little moment on the back of the truck. And then, I loved that she has a lot of little quips. She talks about that she wants a fireplace and that she's looking for that slow burn and not necessarily the fireworks.
The fire analogy.
Yeah, what did you
I mean,
even think about that?
Yeah, the fire analogy. Yeah, I liked it. I mean, it's funny. Like she was putting in context of what she knows. Like, she doesn't want a big flare up. She wants a slow burn.
But I didn't even think about it as the firefighter. Okay.
Well, the thing that struck me most with that was he walks up and she's like jumping and
Yeah.
and he's just stone faced. He's like, barely a smile. Looks good, handsome guy, but the energy is so off. The match of energy, and I felt that way, through the whole episode. And as you said, he's talking to the daughter, and the daughter's trying to pull something out of him.
Yes.
And we know, because we've been on the other side of it, they're all trying to pull something out of him, and he just didn't want to reveal his feelings. He didn't want to expose himself at all. Super guarded in that situation.
And do you think that's because he thinks he's not supposed to share something, or because he doesn't know what to say, or like what?
I don't think he knows what to say, to be quite honest with you. I mean, again, I said that earlier. He's been married for 25 years. He's on the market. He probably hasn't dated that much. It's very difficult to really engage a conversation with someone, particularly when you were tied up for so many years. So I could understand a little bit. He's been a little bit insecure, a little bit unconfident. He doesn't know how to respond, because when you talk to a woman for 25 years and you know her, and it's easy. But when you start meeting someone, it's not easy to ask questions. It's not easy to answer questions. Particularly the question the daughter was asking him, do
you love my mom?
How do you love my mom? And he said, no, I'm not in love.
I don't love your mom.
Right,
I'm not,
right. And he didn't even go as far.
was-
And again, all of us who've been watching this show forever, a lot of times the bachelor or bachelorette will say, I could see myself
Yes.
in love, or I
Right.
could see myself with this person, some sort of visualization.
Or even saying, I feel, here's what I do feel for your mother.
Right.
She's this and she's that.
Right.
Yeah, but
he didn't get any of that.
When Dakota, her daughter, asked, what do you like about my mom? He was like, well, she's spirited. And that was really all he said.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
unless,
yeah.
again...
And then if you notice in the end, when the Peg was talking to a daughter was trying to make a message, this guy
tell
is
her.
not really there, but she was very guarded because she didn't want her mom feeling.
Yeah.
But you could see then the daughter felt like there was no idea, Mel wasn't where her mom would like
Yeah,
to be.
she even in the confessional, she said, I gave him a chance. I wasn't gonna. I mean,
Well, if we go back to Gary first season, he said, I love you. Love was everywhere in that
Yes.
hometown. I think he said he loved it to all of them. Told all their
loving
brother.
love.
I love your mother. I love your sister. He did all that, which I thought was too much.
Too much.
But on our season, at least all the hometowns, there was a feeling of love and excitement. Whatever, who knew what was going to happen? But those hometown dates were good. Even you can feel it.
Right.
And then this, I didn't feel anything. Like it was him. He pulled the energy out of it. It wasn't the.
There wasn't,
Yeah. I think Gary, again, was coming from, he had lost his wife,
Yeah.
right? So he was much more emotional.
Yeah.
And we've seen how all that worked out, but we won't go there. But I agree. I think that's another contrast of sort of seeing these two different Golden Bachelors, and one really emoting, and the other one basically like, I cannot say,
won't say a word
if I
that I
feel
don't,
anything.
right.
Right.
Yeah.
So anyway, so
that-
okay.
that-
so
that's
then
what
let's.
basically
That
was-
was Peggy.
that
And
was
she
Peggy.
looked
Peggy.
stunning. I mean,
Personally-
did she not
She
look
looked good. She looked
stunning?
great.
Yeah.
Personally, and I think
That
I said
red
that
dress.
from the first show, Peggy will be my first choice. Why? Because I like her energy. I like that she's fun to be with. She's not taking life too seriously. She built herself an incredible career in the man worlds, and I give her a lot of credit. She's done very well for herself. I like her. That will be my pick for the day.
All right, and we're going to talk when we get to Cindy, some commonalities that I see between the two. I think the one is that they have a confidence about them. They know that they're the real. They know what they've got.
I have a different
Okay,
approach.
all right.
about
I
Cindy,
think
but
they
let-
both
let-
know
Yeah.
who they are and
Yeah.
what they have to
Yeah.
offer, and I think Debbie needs to know more that she doesn't. Here's one last thought on the Peggy thing that I
Sure.
wrote down, which was. Peggy was saying at the end, he was laughing and joking with my family. It was so great. And I was like, wait, did
Maybe
I
they
miss
cut
that?
it. Maybe they cut it.
Maybe they cut
Okay.
it.
All
I
right.
don't know.
It's
They
possible.
cut
It's
it.
Maybe they
possible.
cut
Okay.
it, yeah.
Moving to Debbie. So then he heads off to Denver. Debbie, again, and Peggy, by the way, Peggy's 62, Debbie's 65. So he talks about how they have this connection, this soulful connection is what he says about her at the beginning.
Debbie.
With
Yeah.
Debbie.
With Debbie, yes.
And then her sister, she has a twin sister, her other sister, and then she has 2 brothers, and they do a backyard barbecue.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How
but
did
before the backyard
yeah,
barbecue,
yeah.
she took him around to the Red
Oh, yeah,
Rock.
the
Red
Red
Rocks,
Rock
yeah.
thing.
Red
I mean, I
Rocks.
think I don't
was
know if you had the
gorgeous.
chance to go there. I've been there in couple concerts. It is the most incredible place
it's
in the
gorgeous.
world.
It's really
it's
beautiful.
gorgeous. It's wonderful for concerts. So that was a very, very special place they went, and she wanted to show him. I think that was a very
You can see
interesting.
that's a spiritual spot.
And what I find very interesting is she's opening up. Debbie was able to tell him exactly where she come from. We didn't know that from the beginning.
Yeah.
If you remember, Jenny, I said that there is a red flag there. And now I understand what was the red flag. She
Yes.
got hurt. The boyfriend killed himself. And it's very hard to recoup that. I think she could have go to some therapy to be able to cope with it. But now I understand where she come from, her emotional, and why she's single.
Yeah, to follow up on that, I felt for her. We didn't know that story,
No.
and I don't know that she maybe shouldn't have brought that out sooner than this potentially. For
I don't know. I appreciated that she kept it because it
Yeah.
wasn't something that she wanted to use. But
Yeah.
I think it would have given us more insight on her earlier.
Right.
But yeah.
But I think it shows why she's been maybe single for so long and why she's maybe a little bit more emotionally fragile seemingly than the other
Yes.
two. So that was, and I felt really bad for her.
I felt bad for her.
Bad for her
I-
telling the story. I felt bad for her.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
That could mark you. You know, I mean, I have
without question.
and no doubt in my mind.
An awful
that-
situation. Nobody would want to have to deal with.
Yeah,
that.
and as she said,
Nobody
it did,
knows how you would react. If it
No.
was you,
Yeah,
We
And
don't
I think it really that they all said it. The sister echoed it that it was a 10-year sort of ordeal for her.
Yeah.
And she's just sort of coming out of it now. So, yeah, I think that she reiterated that she has very strong feelings for him.
Yes.
And then they went to the backyard, and I think he had some conversations he threw the football with the brothers.
Yeah. he did.
and they shared a little bit. I went into the show thinking it was going to be Debbie that we were saying goodbye to, but for a couple moments during that time, I was thinking maybe I'm wrong. Because he did sort of keep talking about the connection that they had, and I did feel it. But you could sort of almost like feel her emotions just like right at the surface through the whole time, and maybe it wasn't as calming to him in some way. And also, I think from a lifestyle perspective, they just seem very
Different.
different. She has no kids, and he has these 2 boys. And even though she's willing to leave right away to go and be with him. Just seemed a little bit different.
Yeah. Well, my feeling on her is that she's kind of right on the edge, and if you can see it on TV, it might be even more so in person.
Like a rawness or something. Yeah.
And she just feels like at any moment she can maybe break down. And I think he can sense that as well. She's, sweet woman. And I kind of felt like she was going to go home, and I was just like, I was wincing kind of the whole episode, like, oh, I feel so bad for her because I kind of feel like I know what's coming. And he, again, didn't, they were asking him questions, the brothers and the sisters, and he just didn't want to open up and reveal like his feelings and really get out there and say, I care so much about her. We just didn't get any of that.
But I don't think that's his personality.
No.
I just don't think you can't change his personality.
Right.
He's a kind of guy who is just simple. He's he's just, I don't know. He doesn't give me it doesn't seem like I don't think he could get to Peggy's level of energy.
Yeah,
I think Peggy's going to make circle around him.
Mm-hmm.
The guy's going to be in bed all day long sleeping because he's
Well, he has trouble walking. You can tell that.
My mom texted me while we were watching and said something like, how old is he? Because he does seem a little older than 66.
Well, he looks great.
Yes.
But he moves pretty. He
Yeah.
was a football player. He might beat up.
Yes,
He moves
that's a
pretty
good point.
pretty slowly.
Yeah.
And we didn't talk about this. And I know you definitely picked up on this. His stylist, like, what's going on?
God,
Like,
don't get Pascal started
no, because I don't
on the
understand. Because we
stylist.
all had to, we had to
Yes,
show
we don't-
our
yeah,
outfits,
yeah,
and we were
yeah,
trying to look good.
yeah.
And his are so basic, and I just don't understand
I
it.
think
He's the
has,
lead.
Yeah, he has his own.
The
style.
lead
I
should
don't
have
understand even the suit. I mean, when you wear a suit, you wear only one button.
He thought he
never
buttoned
tied
twice.
But
I mean,
twice.
but he should have a stylist that have took him on his
Yeah.
shopping spree and
Yes,
Float them up.
I
think
thought the Bachelor and the Golden Bachelor and the Bachelorette has a stylist
Yeah,
that
I
dress
don't-
them.
yeah.
That's what I'm
Dress them.
saying. They
I don't
should.
think
Have
we
a
should.
stylist
Yeah.
that
Yes.
dress them.
I think that it has to do with just maybe his own sense of style, and
I
it's
don't wanna
coming
dress
through
out.
in some way, and that is telling as well. But again, not everyone cares as much about that. But I
Yeah.
get that it's a
And
little bit.
I'm
as you're
nowhere
watching
near
it.
his level
Yeah.
of style and
I don't know
fashion.
who is.
Right, very few people are.
Right.
But still, you want to present. You're going to be on TV.
Yeah.
Or the Golden
Right.
Bachelor.
Yeah.
But get an outfit that you haven't bought at
Yeah. Yeah.
at Dick's
All right,
Sporting.
so- all
At
right.
Dick's Sporting
So let's
Goods.
move on. So then
Jordan.
we go. I think then we go to Cindy.
Am I right or wrong?
I don't want to say anything.
Oh
Yes.
no! Listen,
Oh, my
I'm
God.
I'll let you say.
Okay. Then we go to Cindy, who is 60. She is in Austin. She has 3. I mean, her daughter. She has
Yeah.
her own
Gorgeous.
show.
Beautiful
I mean,
daughters,
we're
yeah.
Say, I got a son for you.
Yeah, beautiful daughters.
Beautiful
Beautiful
daughters.
daughter.
2 are married, I think.
One looks a lot
or
like
one-
her. Yeah.
Yeah.
One is married, one has
Yeah,
a fiance,
yeah.
the other one wasn't. But they, not only were they beautiful, I think that you could tell just how much, just
They
like
love her,
with Peggy's daughter Dakota, they just love her so much. You could feel
Yeah.
it, and their questions were, I thought, just very thoughtful. But so we go to they go to a restaurant.
Yeah,
for
I'm
this.
surprised they didn't do it at home because she took
But she
him
had
home
something
the
up her sleeve. She did that date at the end of the night in her
Oh, at her
apartment, which
apartment,
I
yeah.
thought was the best idea.
Yeah.
She
That looked good.
right.
What do you mean by that?
Well,
She went back- go ahead.
Yeah. Oh no, you.
No, I mean they did this, and then she was kind of like finish the date at my apartment, show him her life a little bit, and
They had a
how she
drink and they
lives.
went up to the rooftop,
Yeah, it
and
looked
it
great.
felt like a real experience, like where you.
Like
would,
this is the way this
Yes.
is a slice of the way I actually live. Kind
Yeah.
of thing.
Exactly.
We didn't really get that in ours. I mean,
Yeah, I loved that. I
Yeah.
thought that she was. I don't know how that's worked, but she did a nice job, and she had a beautiful setting, and they had just it seemed very natural with them, as natural as it can be.
Yeah.
But let's go back to the daughter asking
Yes.
question
Oh, yeah.
to Mel, because I think that's the same story as Peggy's daughter asking question to Mel.
Yeah,
He
that was
gave the
another
same
comment.
answer. Mel was just plain. He wasn't in detail. He wasn't said, I got feeling for you, mother. I could see myself really fell in love with her. It's maybe a little premature now, but I really I feel that we have the connection. But it wasn't like that. Even
There was
the daughter,
nothing.
No.
It was nothing.
She even asked her, like, "Are you ready to, for a commitment?" He wouldn't commit to
He
anything.
wouldn't give anything. Which
He wouldn't
again,
commit to anything.
does he think that he can't say that, and I think he said again, "I've only been in love once. I'm not going to say the L word or whatever."
Which is
they were
fine
talking
because
about.
I didn't.
But
The L
you
word
don't
means a
you don't
different
have
thing
to
to
say
other
the
You don't
L
have to
word.
say the L word.
You don't have to say the L word, but you could show you a feeling, emotion. I really
Completely.
care about
Yeah.
her. I feel like there is a connection. I
Yeah.
feel like I see myself really get to know her a little bit better or spend time with her. But it was nothing like that.
Yeah, he was
And
really quiet with all that. His emotions, any feelings he had, he really kept them to himself.
I thought
and they
it
were
was so
trying
odd.
to pull him out, and he just wasn't going to do it.
And then when he was on the rooftop having a drink, I think to me personally, I felt like she was a little bit desperate. Said, "I love you. I'm falling in love with you." And he's looking at her like, he's kind of freaking out a little bit. I mean, if you see that scene
Yeah,
when she was
I read that so different. I'm going to say I think desperate's the wrong word
Okay.
that I would characterize it, because when she said I wrote this down. I loved this. I know someone will pick me. I hope it's you.
Right.
Meaning I know
But,
that I am someone
Of worth.
and
Yeah.
I have worth, and I hope it's you because I have feelings for you. And so I think she's telling him that.
I'm
To me, it
falling
didn't
in
read
love
desperate.
with you, she said.
Did she? I don't know if
Yes,
she
I
said-
think-
I don't think she said L.
I think she said that. I'm falling in
I
love
thought
with
that
you.
she had said that she's not going to say the L word because he's not saying it.
Yeah, I don't
And
think
so
she said love. I just said I
I'm
really strong
for you.
feelings.
Yeah.
See her like she's almost crying.
Yes,
when
no.
She was
said that.
listen.
Yeah.
She was definitely dying to say "I love you,"
Yes.
but
Yes.
she knew he wasn't going to say it
Yeah.
back, so she wasn't going to do that.
So I hear you. I think she's definitely putting herself out there, but it did not read desperate to me. It read something else to me as a woman. It read to me that she's putting it out there, but letting him know that I'm not going to be, I know that someone else is going to snatch me up. So sort of tell me what you think, and I hope it's you. So
but
that's what I like.
I listened to a podcast with Joan and Jonathan, the young Jonathan, and they were talking to Sandy, and they were talking about her dating. Sandy dated 1.2 million people. That's what she said in a podcast.
Cindy.
Sandy.
Okay.
Yeah, she said, how you dating? Do you know I've dated 1.2 million people?
Okay.
Okay. So she's got
This Cindy from the show?
From the
What is that? What did she
really?
mean by that? I don't understand.
maybe that was a joke, like
She's been dating everybody.
I've dated a lot. Okay.
yes.
So for somebody who has dated a lot, she doesn't have much experience how to handle herself. And with Mel, I just don't think.
Yeah.
And I think that was very awkward, that relationship with her and Mel.
All right. Again, you and I are reading it differently, which is very good. It's always good to have a different point of view.
Woman point of view.
I don't.
Have a man point
Yes,
of view.
and I'm not reading it that she doesn't have the experience. I'm reading it that has experience, is not wasting time. I think that's the other difference of this sort of later in life dating than maybe when you're dating in your 20s and you think you have all the time. I mean, I spent several years with one guy, and you don't worry about it as much. And here, you just aren't going to spend that much time.
Well, which one of them said, I'm 62, I can't waste 5 more years?
Someone said that in the preview for next week.
Oh, that's what it was.
Yes,
Okay, yeah,
I know.
yeah.
I caught that, and I think that
saw
was it was
62?
Cindy. I think it was Cindy that said it.
You can't
so
waste
she's
5
sort
years.
Of
Let's either kind of shit or get off the pot.
Yes.
Thing. Yeah.
When one of the daughter, I don't remember if it's Debbie's daughter or Peggy's daughter or Sandy's daughter, who said,
That's not surprising.
Where do you see yourself in the next 10 years? 20 years. I mean, you remember that one?
Yes.
I said, in 20 years.
She said,
dead for 5 years.
you're in.
I'll be gone in about 10 years.
No.
She said you'll be in a rocking chair, and he's like, "No, I'm not going to be." I'm like, "You're going to be 85. You're not going to be."
Yeah,
I hope he's doing great things then. But you're right. So I think that Cindy wanted more assurance. One of her daughters said he's being, tight-lipped, I think she used. And he just
What does he mean, tight-lipped?
like guarded and just
not saying anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I can relate because I'm just going to just relate it back to me.
Please, Jordan, we would like that.
I was also tight-lipped for the most part. I did not want to give away. I wasn't definitely not dropping the L word. Whether everyone's trying to pull it out of you, really trying to get these emotions out.
Yes.
And I wanted to kind of keep it guarded. And I think they talked about that in my hometown as well. And my daughters talked about it. So I understand that, but this was another level of that. I mean, you still have to show these women that you're here on the show. You're trying to fall in love. The idea is to end up marrying someone. And he's just really, really decided I'm not going to give away anything until I have to, or maybe I will never give it away. I don't know.
Yeah, what you're saying is interesting. Two things strike me. One is, I agree. I think you do, when you're dating, want to have a little bit of edge and a little bit of mystery in it. It's hard, I would think, with the show because, you sort of condensed time and all of this. But yes, you want to have a little bit of that. But I think it's a balance where he's sort of showing nothing. You want to give someone a little to let them know that they're there.
But you know what? I had a chance to talk to a couple of people about it. And then they said, you remember one thing, the editing does whatever they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So we really don't know the type
don't.
of communication Mel has with Peg or has with Sandy. Or, at one time, they showed a recap when Mel was in the firehouse and he were wearing a suit and he was interacting with the team over there. We didn't see that. So I think the editing create that
narrative.
It's possible, and we're just analyzing what we're seeing on this fun recap show. So I think that's it. But so Jordan, the other thing that you brought up was about sort of what the goal is here. Is his goal to get married?
It doesn't seem like it because you're at this point. The proposal's a week away.
Yeah.
I mean, does he seem like he's going to propose to one of these women in a week?
Right.
It doesn't seem like that to me. He's not ready.
But
for
know
that.
what? You know what? I think the proposal is a week away, but it doesn't mean look at Chuck and John.
Yeah.
They are engaged. Okay,
But you still need to say, I love you, will you marry me?
Yeah. Well, you marry me, but it doesn't mean then they have to jump and get married like Gary did about
Right
3
away,
weeks after,
immediately,
right away.
yeah.
I think to me, it'd be wise for him to pick up one of them and get to know them and spend time like Chuck and Joan.
Right, but
you know?
when he's being pointedly asked, do you intend to ask, someone to marry you? I think that is the idea again of the show. Like, here's my hot take: Has he watched the show before?
I don't know.
I wonder
Pascal famously didn't watch the show, right?
Oh, you didn't?
Never watched the show.
Yeah. You were always saying, well, I didn't watch the show.
Oh,
so.
God.
I never watched the
So
show.
I'm guessing,
I don't remember
I'm guessing no, right?
No,
Would you guess he didn't watch it?
I didn't really-
When I was signed up to go, the first thing I did was 3 episodes of the Golden Bachelor because I wanted to understand the concept of it.
Well, that's good. I mean,
watched
that's
3
a smart
episodes
thing.
with Gary.
Yeah.
So I watched 3 episodes and I got the concept. And I said, okay, so that concept is reserved because now I'm going to be the prey, not the hunter.
Right.
Gary was the hunter, I was the prey.
Okay.
So that's a different game. But I didn't never watch the show. And I actually liked and I didn't because I went there with a completely open mind. I didn't know what I was expecting. I didn't know anything, and that was a great.
But you knew that at the end someone's going to get married.
You knew this was going to be televised. Did you know it was going to be televised?
Yeah.
He didn't know he was going to have to do his own laundry. That's for
Right,
sure.
okay.
I didn't know I was going to cook for myself.
Right, you didn't know the man.
laundries,
None of us knew that.
and do
None of
my
us
bed. No, it's
Right,
like
none of us knew that.
right there. I freaked out.
So I think that, I think that's interesting. I was just yelling at the TV a little bit,
Yeah.
silently yelling, but just this idea that does he know, what is supposed to
Show's
be coming
about.
and what it's about.
Yeah.
That's sort of a wonder. I'm wondering from you guys how much family. So we're talking a lot about the families,
Sure.
and in particular the kids, the daughters from Cindy's daughters and Peggy's daughters. How much does family play in your dating life? Like when you're dating someone, like what is the role that family plays for you in your consideration or in either starting to date someone or as your relationship goes? And is it different now that you're later in life than younger?
Me, I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah.
I mean, I've dated. I've been around the block quite a few times, and it's very difficult. It was very difficult for me to introduce who I was dating to my children because I didn't want them to know that it's okay to keep changing partner every couple of weeks here. So.
Is that what was going on?
No. I'm former speech.
I know.
So when I met someone who I felt like it was time to introduce to my children, some of them didn't like them at all, and we ended up the relationship because my children was my priority, and the woman said, I'm never going to be the number one. I said, no, my children are number one. You have to accept that. So I put my kid first. And I know then couple women I introduced to my children didn't like them at all. And then we end up breaking up because of that. Because I think it's very important to create a family, recreate a family together. And if they don't get along, you don't want to be in the middle.
Yeah. Well, I have 3 daughters, and we're all really close. And my daughters would have to, like I said, it would have to pass the smell test between my daughters. And they're really open with me. And like Pascal said, it has to go through my daughters. If my daughters don't, smell something, or they feel like there's something wrong with this woman, that they don't like her, then that just wouldn't fly with me. I have to. That's my lens to look through things.
Yeah, and I think
it is very challenging. It's very challenging, particularly in our age. When you have your children, I have my children, and try to blend 2 families together from different background, different value, different lifestyle. It's difficult. It is very difficult, to do that, and then. And you have to choose family over the girlfriend, I guess. I think for me.
Yeah, I think for you.
Yeah,
I think.
Well, in my situation also, I would say my girls also want me to be happy. So if they may not be, head over heels like I am, let's say, with someone, they still know if I'm happy, if they know that it's bringing me joy and happiness, they would be okay with it. Yeah.
And I saw that with, I think it was, again, Peggy's daughter, Dakota, and then Cindy's daughter. They were sort of trying to thread that needle, like where they were talking to their mom, and like you said, and she was trying to give her every signal without saying it. Like maybe this guy isn't that into you, or maybe there's some red flags here. So I think that's a good call on that and that idea.
The other part with that is, at least in my hometown, you don't have a time to really talk with your kids like you really want to. It's either filmed or things are moving around. You can't just get them in a room and go, "Hey guys, what do you really think?" Mm-hmm. It's all on camera, so it has to be sort of signaled, or you have to be kind of
like a sign
two
on your
winks
body,
on being held hostage, something like that. So you don't really get that. I mean, some people are maybe more open than others about it, but you kind of just want to. It's still a little guarded conversation.
Yeah, I get filmed. That. I did note that that Mel had said to Cindy, "Your kids are so polished." He was definitely impressed with her, or gave an indication that, and he kept saying that we're so intellectually matched. She's the bio.
Well, his daughters are all dressed to the nines.
I mean, her daughters are very elegant, very sophisticated.
Yes,
Seems like she's done very well for herself.
Yeah.
She built herself a good career. She's retired. A kid, you could see the elegance of a kid. They have a certain upper class lifestyle, and I just think then she's a classy woman.
Yes.
She's a great.
You think Peg? I think he's going to pick.
I think Peg. I just think I have a feeling he's going to pick up Peg. I think Peg bring out of him what he needs, a personality.
Yeah.
I just think her energy level is so different than his,
and that's maybe what sometimes opposite attract.
Yeah, right. You're right.
What is
you need
appealing?
Somebody who you.
I could just see him laying and be like, "Can you calm down a little?" I mean, with the jumping.
She's jumping, right? She's jumping on top of him.
Right?
That's what I'm saying.
Maybe he wants that.
Listen, babe, can you just ease a little bit?
Right.
Calm down.
I mean, I don't think he could go wrong. Again, I think you've got such a great crop of ladies, and so I think it's just unfortunate for me that he just doesn't. I just don't feel it from him as much. So then we get to the rose ceremony, and I think it wasn't a surprise, and it was a surprise. Like I said, for me, I kept thinking during the Debbie date, maybe I'm wrong. But then once we were done with all three, I think we all knew going into that rose ceremony. Our poll on Instagram was...
which was our poll?
We did a poll last night on who was going to go home. And our poll overwhelmingly said that Debbie was going to be going home. So people...
Debbie,
So our followers sort of had the sense they know, they know. Yeah. And then again, just love how classy that all of the ladies have been when they say goodbye, which I think not everyone is, right? Yeah. Or some people aren't. I shouldn't say classy, composed.
I'll give Debbie credit because I thought she was really going to break down.
Same.
Yeah.
Same. I did too.
Because you've seen that many times before. They really break down.
Maybe she had an epiphany, a realization that she deserves something and that she's going to get it. It's going to happen.
Yeah, well, maybe this opens it. Maybe she'd be the next Bachelorette.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
Right?
No, I thought Nicole wanted to be the next Bachelorette because Nicole said, Mel, if you don't find anybody, no one, she said, no one is for you. When you're done with them,
come back to me.
You guys, what about? Well, I think she was playing that again. The teaser for next, or the promo for the tell-all had Nicole crying.
Oh my God!
Saying that she really had feelings for him. So I think there's some stuff going on.
Well, I mean,
it's theater.
It's such theater because she talked about she's dating America. So that was her role. That was her point of dating America, that she did it on the tell-all to be like, I really did love you.
Right.
But we'll have to wait and see.
Talk about, someone watching the show and not. I mean, she at that kitchen table, we're going to go back a couple episodes ago, but you weren't with us. But when she said, look, we're not the Real Housewives, but we still have a lot of exposure on the show. And she just seemed very much aware.
She showed her hand. Maybe she forgot that she was mic'd up, which I said happens.
Yeah.
Because you don't really want to show your intentions like that. It shows that you're really just there to try for fame.
Yeah. In her defense, though, Nicole, I'm just going to say this because I've had a week or two to think about it. Times have changed since The Bachelor first started, and Instagram and social media have become such a part of our daily lives and our careers that I don't know that it's so bad that she was saying that she, wants to be an influencer.
No, I mean, look, she took that opportunity to promote a brand, and I don't know if she was there for the right reason. Maybe she had feeling for Mel. I think she was very aggressive with him, and Mel is more like a layback kind of guy.
Right.
And I think she's looking to eventually capitalize on that. A lot of them did, I mean, some of them's done the podcast, some of them's done the TV, other TV shows. She might go to Golden Bachelor in Paradise. I don't know. But, she wanted to promote herself, and I think she did a good job with it.
Yeah, but I don't think anyone on our season came out and said anything like that.
No, I think in our season, we're a bunch of guys having a great time. A bunch of guys having... And the 10 also, I think I talked to you a little bit, Jordan, and you, Jamie. I'm surprised that they never take any of the Bachelor, okay, and try to have a podcast talking about women, okay? It's Susan and Kathy, it's Joe and Serena, but there is never, they haven't promoted any of us into their shows, which I'm surprised.
Keith and Gary got a little bit. Keith and Gary probably got a little bit.
But I mean, they don't have a podcast.
No.
They don't do any appearance. I think to me, the boundary and the camaraderie we had among the guys, we were happy for each other when they were going on a date. Say, hey, tell me about your date. How was it? And we had a good time. It was no competition, backstabbing each other, talking bad. And I don't think anyone was there for a motive. Nobody was there to be an influencer. Nobody was there.
We were there to try and find love.
It was just, we were trying to see if Joan was the right fit for us.
Yeah. And I do hope that you always hope that that's the intention of this. I think the other thing that struck me is, maybe because this is such a rushed season or feels a little bit rushed, we're not having enough time to really get to know Mel the way that we would in another season. We have a thought on why they've rushed it. It's because of his personality. So it's sort of chicken or the egg.
Why?
I don't know.
Maybe that makes sense.
I don't know, but it does.
It's very quick, to be honest with you.
And the episodes are not as long as our episodes.
No.
It just feels way rushed.
Right. It's like you're in love, like or
that's any of the times you're like you're in love. Wait a second.
Yes.
How are you in love? But
I mean, I feel like the season is went very quick, very fast.
So it's hard to know. Again, we're just giving a little bit of grace to Mel.
Yeah.
I don't know how much of it is him or is just, again, the season, the conditions of the situation. But, we'll look forward to it. So we got a lot of good promos for teasers for next week with the tell-all, and then the following week, which is the final, which will be really, really great. Are you feeling, do you need a little lozenge or something?
I'm fine.
Okay.
Sorry.
And so, I mean, I think we all know our predictions. So you're saying Peg. Is that right,
Peg,
Pascal?
100%.
Okay. And Jordan, you're going with Cindy. I think I'm going with Cindy. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're Cindy?
I think
This is Cindy.
I mean, I love both of them. But I feel like as I watch, I've since the beginning feel like there's a little bit more of this a naturalness that feels there with Cindy and Mel.
Yeah.
So
I just think then Peg will bring Mel what he needs, a little bit more like a energy, ongoing, doing things. I just think then Peggy, to me, has a lot of fire in her.
Yeah.
She's a young, she's a young 62, 63, whatever she is. She's very successful. She's energetic.
You liked her.
I know. I mean, I think we are hearing.
You liked her out of the limo. You liked her.
I like her out of the limo. I said that's the one I like.
And my feeling on that is, it just doesn't seem like an energy match. Like sometimes she's so bubbly, and he's just like, okay. It just doesn't.
Again,
much more natural with Cindy.
Editing.
No, I don't think that's editing. I just think that her personality is very energetic and bubbly. And
I mean, how she jump on the bed.
she jumps, and he's reserved. And
He's
at
reserved.
some point,
he doesn't
he's going to be
talk a lot about his sons or his life. He doesn't. He has again.
You think in the hometown
that
would have come out a little bit, but that didn't at all.
Like when he was being introduced to the girls, he didn't. Again, we don't know if this happened, but we can only analyze what's on the television. Is he didn't say, "Oh, I have two sons," or "I really love that these girls are talking about their mother this way and protective of her, and my sons would be protective of me." There just wasn't a lot of it. It was a lot of I've only been in love once and all of these things. So in terms of Debbie leaving, I'm curious what you guys think. She may be the next Bachelorette, Golden Bachelorette. We don't know. It's possible.
2 years away.
Okay, but certainly in real life, would you think her dating situation will be different? And I ask because I'd love to know how different is your dating life pre-Golden Bachelorette, post-Golden Bachelorette?
Well, I think
And don't lie.
No. Well, I'll just talk about Debbie first, not me.
Okay.
The revelation about what happened in her, I'm sure she doesn't tell that story to a lot of people. So now that story's out there, and she's living in Denver, which, it's a big city, but it's a small city necessarily. In our age demographic, it's not, you kind of know the players, most of them. So I think that might have a positive impact. Maybe if people understand, I understand why she didn't swipe me, or she didn't return my call, or she feels distant. Now guys with some sentient guys can be like, I have empathy for her. I would like to maybe talk to her about it, take her out. So I think it could have a positive impact, just revealing that, because she probably hasn't revealed that.
I think I agree with Jordan on that. I think that will be, first of all, she's got a national attention, okay? So, and I know then, my DM went crazy after I was in the show, so is yours, Jordan. Yeah. We have a lot of
Really? Did they? No.
Yeah, lot of opportunity. You got to just handpick what you want. I just believe then she will definitely, with the exposure and be vulnerable of what she said, I think people is going to understand a little bit better who she is. And I believe then she will find a match, because she is a kind-hearted, wonderful human being.
And to my point where I said she revealed that on the hometown, had she possibly revealed that earlier, might have changed the dynamic with Mel. I mean, because to be kind of thrown that at the last minute, now he's got to process that. He's got to choose. But had he known that, he could have maybe in his mind kind of understood a little bit. I don't know. It's it's something to think about.
It is. I think it's a good point. It's a good point, because some of what was coming across as desperate maybe would have been tempered by that knowledge.
Exactly.
That, so.
She was deciding, I know I need to tell him. When do I tell him?
Yeah.
And it comes off as like anxiety, which kind of showed on her face during the other episodes.
Okay. So I do have the most important question of the whole podcast conversation right now. Okay, are we ready?
Yeah.
So Jordan, what is your status of your dating life? People want to know.
They do. This is I have a girlfriend.
Oh,
okay.
So
I have a girlfriend. Yeah,
okay.
I have a girlfriend. I met her last year in real life. It was just a accidental meeting, and yeah. That's it.
Thanks to me.
Yeah, thanks to Pascal.
Oh, really? Were you his wingman for this?
I was supposedly going to a football game with a friend of mine, and I'm not a big fan of football.
Okay.
So I said, Jordan, I'm going to give you my ticket, and you're going to be on the field, okay? And you're going to go and take my buddy Gil, which we love.
We love Gil. We do love Gil.
Gil came up in town, stayed with us for a week. We entertained him. Jordan and I took him all over the town. And I took Gil to see Sebastian Matriano at the United States.
Oh my God, Maniscalco.
Yeah.
He is my favorite.
Yeah, he's my favorite. And then I had a ticket to go see the bear on the floor. And I said, you know what? Jordan loved the bear more than I do.
Wow.
Yeah. But then you see how the turn in life could have happened.
That's right.
Isn't it the sliding doors
and Jordan
of it?
could have been single.
That's right.
Okay. And, you know what I'm saying? So I believe then there is a road you
never know.
Those forks.
Those forks where you meet the people, the right people. And I had the chance to meet
Emily.
And I love Emily. I think she's a wonderful girl. Wonderful.
That's so fun.
Wonderful. So I'm happy for Jordan.
When I was younger, I used to love those books. I don't know if you guys ever read these, but you'd read a book, you'd read a part, and then it would be like, if you want to do this, you go to page 24. If you want to do this, you go to page 29. And I would do all of them. So I'd keep going back and then keep going to each of those pages instead of choosing one path and sort of going with it. So I definitely know those forks in the road and that idea.
And I think that was the
But so are you are you thanking Pascal for this, or do you see him as the role that he's saying that he played in this?
No, Pascal is so generous. If anyone who knows Pascal, I mean, he's incredible. So and we have a bunch of the Bachelors coming again in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, a couple of weeks.
Yes.
And he puts up his house for guys. He's dinners. I mean, he's super
Magnanimous.
generous guy.
Right.
Amazing.
That's so great.
Yeah.
That's
And
great.
you know,
okay.
the fact that our friendship, it's fantastic. It really is.
Yeah, you can
I love
really,
him. I mean, he's fantastic.
You can really tell, and that is a wonderful outcome of these
for sure.
shows to see that happens with you guys and some of the other seasons as well.
Well, that's why I said, like, you know, I'm not a producer at ABC
Mm-hmm.
or anything, but there is a great story to be told about
the
guys
women,
our age and
Mm-hmm.
working together. There's no, you know, we're all cheering for each other. We're all learning, like cooking or cleaning.
Mm-hmm.
You know, guys didn't know how to tell a joke. Guys didn't know how to even interact with Jones. We were trying to help them.
Yeah.
You know, Pascal put on Charlie's tie. I mean, there's so many different aspects that we really were helping each other. Mark and I and you know, he was dealing with the emotions of his wife who's passed. There's so many things that guys really need. And it came out on that show, even just a little bit, but that's what was great about it. You know?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of different angles, and my guess is that people are going to start pursuing some of those. You know, we just saw that The Bachelor, HGTV is picking up and developing a program to do the Bachelor makeover
the house.
for the house.
Yeah.
That's something brand new,
Sure.
and be able to take that. And, you know, I would think that they'll start
you
to
think,
be.
yeah, that's the door's not shut.
Yes.
They get
maybe.
To they get
maybe
to
not.
reinvent themselves. You know, I mean, what you did 20 years ago was great, but it's time for changes. You know, I think they need to reinvent themselves if they want to stay in the. I mean, there is wonderful show up there. You know, you're talking Love Is Blind, and so many. You know, you can't even watch all of them, but there is a lot of show up there. So I think. The Golden Bachelor franchise was great. I think the first one with Gary, the second one, I'm a little bit concerned about this one personally because of the rating. And again, it's not me talking negative about the show. I just think that the rating are not what they're expecting, and you know, and that's got to do to the lead. You know,
Yeah.
I mean,
So
the
much
lead
depends on the lead.
Depends on the lead. You know, I mean, John was a good.
And the cast. I mean, the lead.
Yeah, the lead and the cast. But I think Joan was a great bachelorette. I think Gary was a great bachelor.
Yeah.
And I just think Mel is a great guy. I don't know him, but I mean, he doesn't show us emotion, feeling, excitement, happiness. And that's what I would have loved to see.
When if you touched on something that I remember. So during our season, Joan led all the conversations. She, from the first day, she was the one, she knew about our kids, she knew about our jobs, she knew about our lives. And we would say, does she have like a dossier? No. So she was really up on top of it. Her emotions carried the conversations. She carried all our conversations. The opposite of what's happening now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So she was really a great lead. She really understood the assignment was I'm going to try to find my person, my man, and then she carried all of our conversations every time. Because if I was nervous, I didn't have to be because Joan was going to carry that conversation.
Yeah, she's a smart woman.
Very smart.
And also, I think it shows. I love too that the sort of that we talk a lot about contrast and commonalities, but the contrast here is the men versus the women, and sort of women. And sort of the understanding of the dynamics and how to bring that out. We also have dated a lot and understand that men like to talk about themselves. You just need to get them to talk about themselves. That's the big thing. And so I think she knew that. And then I think this idea of main character energy, and I just don't think that Mel has it.
I don't want him to come after us.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't think we're saying anything. Not that we're jumping on a bandwagon.
I met him. I thought he was great in person.
I think we are all saying that.
Yes,
we are all
yes.
saying that this guy could be the nicest guy. I don't know him, but he could be a great guy. Seems like it. But in terms of leading a show, you know, main character energy doesn't seem to have it for me. But I think the ladies have propped it up. I think that they've sort of done a lot. And I still am looking forward to seeing the rest of the program.
As am I.
You know,
I think next time is, I believe, a woman tell all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then after that is the final rose. And the
Yeah.
A couple more weeks.
Yeah.
couple more weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, I
So
think-
great.
Yeah.
We're here for it. I don't know if Jordan's going to be here for it. No, I'm just.
I'm going to
joking.
get booted.
I hope you come back. We like having you
you.
here
It's
with
great
us.
to be here, you know.
And I know you
I
guys
love
hang a
discussing
lot.
it.
Yeah, good. And I've been just really enjoying our conversations, whether we're alone, whether we've got an expert, whether we've got a friend on the couch. We're having a really good time doing it. And we really appreciate you guys all listening and watching. And please subscribe, please follow, so that we can continue this journey that we're having. Any other thoughts, Pascal, as he gives his final thoughts?
Next week, we having a marriage counselor?
No, divorce. Yes,
Divorce
lady,
attorney, yes.
Divorce community a founder.
Yes, and I think that will be very interesting to be able to talk about the golden years of divorce. How do you get back into the dating world? How do you handle yourself, going to the struggles, going to the children, going to the custody, all the. I think that's sometimes where people need to know, because I've been through a divorce, Jordan's been through a divorce, and it's very emotionally draining, and your behavior change, your view change, and I think that will be very interesting to talk to that expert and give us some advice, some ideas about how the golden years. How do we handle that? How do we move forward? How do we?
Or what we've been calling it is people going golden, or in their golden era.
Yeah.
So you don't have to be there, but you're sort of going there.
Yeah, I mean, there's some people are divorcing in the 50s with children. How do they go and date when you have children? Do you date a woman who has children? Do you date a younger woman? We've talked a little bit about the age difference gap between the 70 and 70s.
We're talking to a sex expert to possibly bring on.
Wow.
Yeah, maybe Jordan will come back for that
Jordan will
one.
come up and give us some ideas.
Everyone will be asking to come in for that one. But yes, so I think we've got a lot of fun things.
We've got a couple good show coming up, and keep following us. And we love you comment, regardless if it's a good and bad.
Yes.
I love to hear particularly the bad, because we want to answer to the bad. We know we're good.
Right. Yeah, well, you're good. So great. So that's it. That's a wrap. And thank you so much. All right.
You guys keep doing what you're doing. It's fantastic. I love being part of it. So
Thank you.
Love it.
We love having you, Jordan.
Good luck.